Hi, everybody, and welcome to my Friday Webcast. I'm a little bit on the down low today. I had a gallery last night, and I'm a bit tired, but I said to myself, you know what? I'm dressed up every week. You just got to see me a little bit dressed down, sweatshirt, Boston Strong, ready to go with your Friday message. But I thought to myself last night after the gallery was over that, you guys see me being fun and outgoing and making jokes, but there's a lot of this work that is serious and that does help people. And last night we had a gallery, and I didn't recognize this at first, but I promised you, Ashley, this is for you, that I would make this webcast for you just so you know how important the work that you're doing is, and so that other people can get some hope where maybe they didn't have any before. But the one reading that really stuck with me last night was a reading in which I was told after the gallery that the mediumship message had saved the girl's life. And I'm really humbled by that. And I know I don't give myself credit for anything that comes through during the galleries, but to know that this work has such an impact on other people and that it actually helped to save someone's life, I felt was worthy of telling you the story on the webcast. And I promised you, Ashley, I know you told me I could use your name, that this is a little present for you, because I'm just amazed at how much work you've done to change your life. So about a couple months ago, I had another gallery in Princeton, and this one was at a different location. There was a young girl who came in. She was about 80 pounds, and she just looked down the whole gallery. She looked in it like she was in a very dark place. She didn't really know her dad in her life. Her dad wasn't really involved in her life since she was about 6 months old, and her and her mom were there, and they didn't know whether the father was living or deceased. And he came through and wanted to talk to her. And this has been something that was on her, on her mind in her life for so long, and that she didn't know how to fill that void. And unfortunately, that void ended up being filled by drugs and alcohol, and at this point in time, heroin and cocaine. So by the time she had come to the gallery, she was pretty much at a point where the addiction had gotten so bad that this was kind of her last resort. And I remember reading her in that gallery, and I don't remember a lot of what was said because I don't remember a lot of the readings that come through, but her dad was a source of a lot of sadness and pain for her because she didn't know him. She didn't know where he was. She didn't know what was going on with him. And he ended up coming through and saying that, due to his issues and to his addiction issues, he had passed, and his body just wore out over the course of time. And she was able to, through that connection, make peace with him. And that was something that really healed her at that moment, even though she didn't know whether he was living or past. But the fact that she made that connection with him was very healing to her. And it was told to her in that reading. And I am not a person, I'm really sensitive to people's emotions and to people's sensitivities and where people are at. And so if I get a message that might be a little hard for somebody to hear, I will hold back and try to give them the message in a way which they can experience the message and learn from that message without it being too overwhelming to them. But after the gallery, I remember sitting down with the girl, and I didn't want to say this in front of everyone, but I felt that if anything was going to change, because during the reading, the addiction was brought up. The father brought up her addiction issue and talked about how bad it was in this public gallery. And she admitted everything. So afterward, I came up to her, and I was like, it was a decision I made in the moment, and I didn't know how to tell her this, but I felt that she was very close to passing. That if she didn't do something within the next several months, that she could definitely cross over to the other side and from the addiction. And I sat down next to her, and I asked her if she knew that this was a possibility, and she told me that she did. And it's not something I discuss with people. If I see it time to time, I don't really bring it up, but I felt that if anything was going to make a difference, that I had to take that risk and tell her what I saw. And at that moment, I just told her to give her cell phones to her mother, actually her one cell phone. And she pulled out one cell phone, and psychically I knew there was another cell phone in her bag. I thought she had two. So I just said, give her the other one. And she gave the other one over. And then I told her mom, give someone else those cell phones, because I knew she would get them from her mom. So she decided at that moment to check herself into a rehab. And I hadn't seen her or heard from her since. And it's so be it, last night, her and her mom showed up at the gallery. And I didn't recognize her because her face had changed. This girl looked so pretty. She looked so content. I knew she looked familiar, but I really didn't know. I mean, I see a lot of the same people at galleries, so I wasn't really sure, who they were. And I started getting into the reading, and this man, her father's name, John, came through, and he was talking about, and he was saying how proud he was of her, that, she had made a decision that had changed her life. So it was all kind of a little vague at that point. And then what happened was very, very strange. I don't get information about the other side a lot. I'm kind of like the, post office person. I get the mail and I give the message. They don't really talk to me about the process of what goes on the other side, too often. And they showed me her life path charts, and usually I'll see what looks like a map, and then I'll see different directions a person can go, different destiny points based on the choices that they make. But they showed me two charts side by side. And when I see things like this, it's amazing to me because I don't get shown things like this often. So I was kind of shocked. And they showed me two different person's life charts and said they were both hers. And side by side, I looked at them, and they told me to tell her that she actually bypassed, death. And the first chart was hers, as well as the second chart. She had two life charts. She had two actual life plans that were given to her. And she bypassed an exit point, which is so difficult for somebody to do, especially with an addiction contract. Because with the addiction contract comes really difficult choices to bypass that. So in the first life chart, we were already past the point where she would have been gone. And they were telling her that she moved on to her second life plan. And I remember just thinking how lucky she was to be here, because she knew, as well as I knew, as well as her mom, everybody knew it was coming to the end of things for her. She made a decision. And after the gallery, she came up to me and she said, "Do you remember me?" I said, "Are you the girl with the cell phones?" And she's like, "Yeah." I said, "You look so different. I can't believe how great you look. And obviously, you're better. Obviously, you went to treatment. Obviously, you're not doing drugs anymore, and you look great. And congratulations." And her mother said, well, this saved her life. The message that came from you was the last resort, and it saved her life. And for me, that's pretty powerful. And to see someone sitting there bright-eyed, happy, and she said, "You know what, I feel really content. I feel really happy." And of course, there's no guarantees in life that we're going to make the wrong choices or the right choices. And I hope she stays on track with the choices that she's making. And but to see someone who was in so much pain and at the point of death come back to life just by making a choice to live and not die, and to bypass, and to have two life plans, to have two actual records, two life records side by side, to be able to see that from spirit and to be able to be shown that from spirit, it just goes to show you what your choices can lead you to or not lead you to, because she was very aware that she was coming to the end of the road, and not many people come out of that, and she did. She saved her life. And mediumship is really powerful, and sometimes I don't get the pleasure or the privilege of hearing these great stories because I give the messages in the galleries, and then I don't really get all those follow-up messages of what happened 2 weeks later, or a year later, or 2 years later. But I had a lot of people in that show last night that actually told me, hey, I saw you 5 years ago and this stuff happened. And everybody in the show, to go to a show like this and to see other people's stories and to hear what have happened to people, it's really just incredible. So I just wanted to share that story with you. And I really hope that if there's anybody out there that can benefit from this video, if you're struggling, with a decision that is changeable, if you're struggling with making a change that can alter your life, if certain decisions that you're making are harming other people around you or have an effect on those who love you, if people are worried about you, if you find yourself making selfish and destructive decisions, know that unlike people who have illnesses or who have situations in life that they can't change, know that you have a contract that could be changed. And this young woman allowed me to do this webcast today so that maybe she could bring hope to somebody out there. And she's an inspiration. And I hope, Ashley, that you continue on your road and you continue to understand how, and in her second life chart that I saw right in front of me, were kids, marriage, a business, her going into a creative career. And these are all things that she wanted in her life. And she said that in the first reading, it came through that within 5 years, she'd have everything she'd ever dreamed of and more, if she had learned this lesson and actually moved to the next spiritual level. And she did. And I hope that helps somebody else out there today. And I'm going to do a reading for you guys, a 3-card playing card reading, and see what comes up for you for this weekend. Okay, so let me just see what comes up and see what kind of message I can give you for the weekend. All right. 3 of Clubs. Okay, so all of you that feel you got to get your stuff in order, this is a card of organization, cleaning your house, decluttering, and getting things in line. This is also decluttering your life when it comes to extraneous work-related activities, things if you run a business, things that aren't working, or relationships that aren't working, friendships, anything, groups, activities, anything that you're in. This is getting things in order and paring down, okay, over this weekend. Really important because there's going to be a lot of forward-moving activity by the month of April. Okay. Ace of Hearts, love is still in this world. Love is still on your side. So there's going to be maybe a romantic encounter this weekend. And the heart is up, which means that it's going to be positive and it's going to be cool. And I think you're going to have a fun and flirty and exciting time. Wow, you got the Ace of Hearts and now the Ace of Clubs. Now, in addition to love being on your side this weekend, you also have a business proposal or opportunity with work. That could be a creative opportunity or an opportunity most likely that's presented to you, not that you're going after, that is going to be very lucrative. So if you have meetings set up or phone calls set up or you're actually discussing a project, this is going to be awesome. So I'm going to pull a clarification card from the deck to see exactly what this involves. You know what? It's not allowing me to see. I can't pull the clarification card, so just be aware of that, okay? Sometimes I think I'm going in one direction, they put me in another direction. Now make sure tomorrow, again, 3 to 4 p.m., we are on Intuitive Radio, which is relationship insight with an intuitive twist, with myself and co-host CJ Weston. And we have some exciting stuff. We're following some people's love lives. People are calling in for psychic and intuitive readings. Make sure you tune in, 9:20 a.m. out of Princeton. It goes all the way down to South Jersey into Bucks County. So please listen. If you can't listen tomorrow from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, or if you're not in the state, you can listen online live at 920thevoice.com, or you can listen to the podcast once it gets up on Monday for the show. So there's a lot of ways to listen in. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube video yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And please share this video if you think it might be for somebody that you love. And I hope to talk to you soon. And that's it. Have a good day and a good weekend. Bye.